Good morning, Matthew. Um, so one of the other things that I've seen a lot of inside of our group is that people are, because they've built this confidence around designing websites and developing websites in now Next.js, but also just in all the other ways that we have them building websites through vanilla and also through low code solutions. Um, I've seen a lot of people who are now taking the step up to finding work and building projects for people, right?
We just
And
have a couple people this week who just got work for people, for
yeah,
actual people as clients, and that's awesome, dude. That's what we want.
yeah, I mean, like I like to think about the difference between what we have inside the incubator and what somebody who's going into a boot camp has, and really one of the main differences is one, there is less structure inside the web dev incubator. The idea here is it is, you are still self-learning. It's your own pace. Um, but
I wanted to say that though.
yeah.
I actually would argue that it's more structured because instead of dumping all kinds of just every technology that exists on them to just
Mhm.
throw everything at them, we actually are structured around core ideas and core technologies
That's
that
true.
work. And I think there is a difference there that's why they're getting out there faster, getting work. That's part
Yeah.
of it, I think. You
No,
know?
and I agree. And that's sort of what I was going to say is like when you go into a boot camp, it's months and months and months of theory and, example code and copy paste code. And that's great because it exposes you to stuff, but you never actually feel like you've done anything on your own. Like you've never had to solve any problems. And that's literally what software development is solving problems. And
All
so
it is.
yeah, like we encourage people and guide them through the process of actually going out and reaching out to businesses and getting out of your comfort zone and saying like, hey, networking with people that and
Wearing shirts like this.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like, telling people that you actually are a web developer and that you can build them websites. And it's surprising, like, I think it's surprising to a lot of the students inside the incubator where they just like there was one particular day that we had which really blew my mind where I was like, hey, I have like a friend who like we could build a website for them, and I was thinking maybe we can do it as a group. And all of a sudden, like half of the people in the group were like, oh, I also know this person who needs a
Yeah.
website. This person needs a website. And it's like,
But there's no
wow, why
jobs.
are
There's no jobs as a
yeah,
web
it's like,
developer.
why are we not?
Everybody's getting fired. There's no jobs as a
Well,
web
you know
Yeah,
what's,
developer.
I think that's what we forget though, is that there's all these huge companies, but for small businesses and stuff, a lot, and for like individuals who have like a small business, that doesn't isn't for them because they're going to cost a fortune. They're going to get a generic
sure.
thing. And like, so they actually, you need freelance developers. And that's like, there's so much work out there when you start looking. And there's so
Yeah.
many, if you just go online in your town, you'll see how many bad websites there are, for God's sakes. Like, they were
Oh my
built like
God.
in
Yeah.
95.
And the more that you network and actually get yourself out there, the more it just keeps coming, right? Because as soon as people know that you build websites, there's more people who want websites built than you have time to actually build.
Yeah.
And so anyway, the point of today's episode is really to talk about, what that looks like for somebody who's new in web development. Like, how do they actually go about finding these businesses and then maybe I don't know Next.js yet, right? Like a lot of our students don't know Next.js like in and out yet. So what do I do, right? Do I like learn it as I'm building it? Do I use other options? And so, yeah. So what do you guys, suggest in terms of like, what's the best first step for somebody who is considers them an aspiring web developer, maybe not like the most skilled developer in the world? What would you say is their best first step if they want to start earning money immediately?
I was actually thinking about this because this was something I went through myself, and I think a lot of people do, which is trying to figure out when should I start is hard. Like when should I start like trying to get clients? I mean, like trying to earn money
Yeah,
from this.
yeah,
And I think because you always, if you, it's like everything else in life, right? If you try to wait for the right moment, it'll never come because there's always more you can learn.
totally.
There's always more you can do. You can always be a better expert, whatever. And so I think part of it too is like the biggest first step is facing your fear and just going for it and trying. Because
Yeah,
at the end of the
totally.
day, like even if you're honest and do like even if you do a free one first, like a simple website for free, just to get started so you can
Yep.
show yourself that you can do it, that is like a huge win and will help you get over that hurdle of I'm a real developer. And I think that is
Yeah.
like one of the hardest things though at the beginning.